Listen, if you are sitting there right now feeling comfortable because your portfolio is green, I need you to snap out of it immediately. While you were sleeping, the Oracle of Omaha just quietly dumped 31% of his entire equity portfolio. That is not a typo, and it is not a drill Warren Buffett. The man who literally invented the buy and hold mantra is currently sitting on $397 billion in cold hard cash. That is the single largest cash pile in the entire history of Berkshire Hathaway. Think about that for a second, because it is absolutely wild. The greatest investor to ever walk this earth is effectively standing by the exit door with his bags packed while everyone else is still dancing. And what are you doing? Are you still blindly dollar cost averaging into all-time highs because some YouTuber told you stocks only go up? Look, I am not some suit and tie professor from a fancy bank. I am just a guy who graduated in 2020 right when the world was falling apart. I remember sitting in my tiny apartment with literally no sofa because I refused to spend $500 on furniture when I could put it into the market. I drove a 2006 sedan with a cracked windshield for 3 years while working at a Fortune 500 company. My coworkers were leasing Teslas, and I was checking the oil on a car that sounded like a lawnmower, just so I could hit my first $124,560. I have made every single mistake in the book. I have panic sold, I have FOMO bought, and I have held on to losers until they hit zero. But the one thing that changed my life was learning how to read what the big money is actually doing, not what they are saying. Buffett just sat down with CNBC, and he was not subtle at all. He said the markets are like a church with a casino attached, and right now the casino is very attractive. He literally told the world that prices are too high. If the guy who has been doing this for 60 years says the supermarket is too expensive, why are you still filling up your cart? You might think you are safe because you do not own individual stocks. You think, oh, I just buy VU and chill. Well, newsflash, VU is loaded with Apple and Bank of America. Buffett just slashed his Apple stake by 75%. He is selling the very things that make up the backbone of your retirement account. He is not doing it because he hates Apple. He is doing it because the math no longer makes sense. When he bought Apple, it was trading at 15 times earnings. Now it is at 30, the price doubled, but the business did not. That is a bubble, my friends. And Buffett does not play in bubbles. I see so many retail investors making the loyalty mistake. You get married to your stocks. You think because a company is great that the stock price cannot fall. That is total nonsense. A great company at a terrible price is a terrible investment. I learned this the hard way back in my early 20s when I watched a $10,000 gain evaporate in 2 weeks because I thought I was long-term. Long-term does not mean being a masochist. It means having the discipline to take profits when the market gets greedy. Buffett has this framework he calls the elephant gun. He is not selling because he wants to buy a bigger house or a private jet. He is selling because he wants to go hunting when the crash happens. He wants to be the only guy with cash when there is blood in the streets. He calls the giant companies he wants to buy elephants. And you cannot hunt an elephant with a water pistol. You need $397 billion. He is waiting for that one juicy year out of every decade where everything goes on sale for 50% off. But here's the thing that will blow your mind. You actually have a massive advantage over Warren Buffett. Buffett is so big that he can only buy about 50 companies in the world. If he buys a small company, it does not move the needle for him. But you and me, we are small. We are fast and we are nimble. We can move in and out of sectors like tech, energy, or even those tiny quantum stocks I talked about last year that went up 1,000%. Buffett cannot touch those. They are too small for his elephant gun. So while he has to wait for a total market meltdown, you can find value in the corners of the market every single day, but you need a framework. I use what I call the 3 C's to decide when to hit the sell button. The first C is a change in the business. If the CEO starts acting like a clown or a new competitor eats their lunch, I am gone. The second C is cost. If the PE ratio goes to the moon while earnings are stuck on the ground, I am taking my money and running. The third C is cash needs. If I see a juicy opportunity that pays me more than my current holding, I kill my darlings and move the money. I do not care about holding forever if forever means losing money. Most of you are terrified of sitting in cash. You think inflation is eating my money. Sure, inflation sucks. But losing 30% in a market crash sucks way more. Sitting in cash is a position. It is an active choice to wait for a better deal. I hit my net worth goals because I stopped trying to be right and started trying to be profitable. I remember my friends laughing at me for keeping $50,000 in a high-yield savings account while they were buying crypto at the top. Who is laughing? Now they are back at zero and I am ready to buy their favorite stocks for pennies on the dollar. You need to stop listening to the diamond hands crowd. Diamond hands is a term invented by people who want you to hold the bag while they exit. Real investors have paper hands when the math stops working. If you are at an all-time high and you are feeling smug, that is exactly when you should be looking for the exit. I am not saying sell everything and go live in a cave. I am saying stop being a blind follower. Review your portfolio tonight. Look at your VTI. Look at your individual plays. Ask yourself, if the market closed for 5 years tomorrow, would I be happy holding this? If the answer is no, then why are you holding it today? We are currently in a market that is disconnected from reality. Debt is at $40 trillion. Geopolitics is a powder keg, and the greatest investor alive is cashing out. What do you know that he doesn't? Are you really smarter than 60 years of compounding? I don't think so. I am telling you this because I want you to win. I want you to be the person who buys the dip, not the person who provides the dip. The next few months are going to be a wild ride. You can either be the person with the elephant gun or the person being hunted. The choice is yours. I am going to keep my buy. Weekly DCA into broad index funds because I am 27 and I have time, but my speculative and concentrated positions, those are on a very short leash. I have my sell orders ready, I have my cash reserves waiting, and I am not going to feel a single bit of FOMO when the market goes up. Another 2% because I know that when the music stops, there are not enough chairs for everyone. I would rather be 10% early than 1 minute late. That is how I built my $124,560. That is how I am going to build my first million, and that is how you are going to protect your family's future. Don T, be a victim of your own greed, be a student of the game. Let us talk about the psychology of the retail trader for a second. I see you guys on Reddit and Twitter all the time. You are bragging about holding through the pain. Why pain is your body telling you something is wrong? In the stock market, pain is your bank account telling you that your thesis was incorrect. If you bought a stock at $100 and it is now at $70, you did not lose nothing because you didn't T-sell. You lost $30 per S-hair of purchasing power. That is $30 you could have put into a winning trade. This idea that you only lose when you sell is the biggest lie ever told to retail investors. It is a lie designed to keep you from dumping your shares on the big boys while they are trying to exit. I learned this when I was working that corporate job. I would look at my screen during my lunch break and see my hard-earned money vanishing. I would tell myself, it is okay, it is a long-term play. But then I realized if I had that cash right now, would I buy this stock at this price? If the answer was no, then holding it was just a slow way of burning money. I started being ruthless. I started treating my portfolio like a business, not a hobby. If a worker is T-performing, you fire them. If a stock is T-performing, you sell it. It is that simple. Buffett knows this better than anyone. He has $400 billion because he is not afraid to say no. He is not afraid to sit on his hands for years. Most people cannot sit still for 5 minutes without checking their Robinhood. That lack of patience is exactly what the pros exploit. They count on you being bored, they count on you being desperate for action. And while you are looking for action, they are looking for value. I want you to take a look at the house you live in or the car you drive. You wouldn't buy a house for double what it is worth just because you like the neighborhood. So why do you do it with stocks? Why do you pay 50 times earnings for a company that grows at 5% a year? It is because you are addicted to the green candles. Well, Buffett just blew out the candles and left the party. Are you going to be the one cleaning up the mess? I remember when I hit my first $100,000, I didn't celebrate by buying a Rolex. I didn't go out and get a new car. I took a screenshot, sent it to my mom, and then I went back to eating my $2 meal prep. That is how you stay in the game. You don't let the numbers go to your head. You keep that same rattling sedan energy no matter how much you have in the bank. Because the moment you start feeling rich is the moment you start making stupid decisions. I am staying hungry, I am staying humble, and I am staying liquid. The next year is going to be the biggest opportunity of our lifetime if you have the cash. If you are trapped in high valuation tech stocks, you are going to be watching from the sidelines while people like me are buying the future for a discount. I am going to keep my eyes on the data, not the headlines. I am going to keep following the 3 C's, and I am going to keep telling you the truth, even if it hurts your feelings. Because a bruised ego is better than a broken bank account, I will be back next week to show you exactly which sectors I am moving my cash into. But until then, do your homework and check your ego at the door. If you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I don't do this for the likes, I do it because I am tired of seeing regular people get crushed by Wall Street. Let us grow this wealth together and stay dangerous. I am building a community of people who actually want to be free, not just look rich. We are the ones who work the corporate jobs, save the pennies, and then strike when the time is right. We are the ones who drive the 2006 sedans while building 7-figure portfolios. That is the DD10 way. That is the real path to freedom. It isn't fast, it is easy, but it is real, and it is waiting for you if you have the guts to take it. I am done being a victim of the system. I am a participant in the market, and as a participant, I am here to win. Join me or stay on the sidelines. The choice is yours, but the clock is ticking. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.